Alrighty, so before we get into this review of sorts, I just want to say, yes, I am aware Huawei is not the most reputable Chinese company with all the data stealing and stuff, which is why, you know, Android no longer allows them to use that operating system on their phone. So, you know, I know, not the best company, but they make a pretty darn good phone. So let's go into why this is my favorite phone of all time. So one of my favorite parts about this is the way it looks. To me, the phone's looks is quite important. I quite like waking up in the morning and going, dang, that's a nice looking phone. And this one does that. Even now, 3 and a bit years later after I got it, I still look at this thing and go, that is a good looking phone. Even with its, you know, cracks and such, it still looks great. That blue tint that changes color in the light is just great. Sometimes it's like a very light blue, sometimes a dark blue, sometimes a mix, and sometimes it can be like almost completely white when put under bright light. It's like almost like a white blue. It's just great. The silver trim, it's great. Never have I had a phone where I've got compliments on it before. Like I've had Apples and Samsungs, but this was the only one that whenever I took it out, a lot of people would be like, "Ooh, nice phone, mate. Love the color," you know. So not that that means much to me. I don't really care about other people's opinions, but it's a showstopper. It's a great design. Another thing I love about this phone is the fingerprint scanner works every single time. No questions asked. Like, I've got this opened. It always works. Like, always. I have my S22 or S21, whatever it's called over here. And this thing. Okay, it worked there. Let's Alright, now it's working. Okay, let's try that again. Come on. Alright. Okay, the Samsung seems to be wanting to play ball today for some reason, but I have issues with that a lot. 3 or 4 out of 10 times, that thing won't open with my fingerprint. Let's try that. I'm just going to see if I can get this not to work. Okay, great. It's never worked that well ever. The face recognition, okay, let's go face recognition now. The face recognition on this thing is like instant. Let me just hold it above the camera. Opened instantly. It's crazy. This thing sees me from like a distance, like 3-4 feet, and it will still open, which may be a bit of a downside if you're, I don't know. I guess that could be a bit of a security issue if someone can hold your phone up from a few feet away and it unlocks. But that was always helpful. Even in dark situations, it would be the middle of the night, I'd pick my phone up to check, and it would open, and it would just open straight away. Love that. The Samsung phone, I'll hold it up. Face does not match. Never works, this thing. The Face ID on this thing barely ever works. It is rubbish. So that's another great thing. The fingerprint scanner always works, and the face recognition works 90% of the time. Great. I love that. It makes life so much easier. Now, probably my favorite thing about this phone is the gestures. They just make sense. So let's say I open an app, for example, or I'm buff here looking at some skins. Crazy times. So I want to switch to the other app. I just hold up, then I can scroll through all of my previously opened apps. Alright, great. I'm back here. Oh, I want to go home. Simply swipe up, I'm back. It's amazing. And let's say I'm on buff, I see a product, and I want to go back. I just swipe back. It's so nice. I've been mainly using my Samsung because it's got my data and stuff on it for the previous year or so, and I still swipe back all the time. Like every day, 3-4 times a day, I'll be on Twitter or something, and I want to go back, and I want to go back, and I'll do this. I've done this thousands of times. I have tried to go back like this, and you know, you have to go down to the arrow. It just makes sense. You know, your thumb is here, you're scrolling through, you just do that. It just feels right. The whole buttons down here doesn't, but this thing, it just feels right. The gestures are so good. And once you get used to them, you can be in and out of apps. It just feels great. You know, swipe up, choose your app, go to your app, go back. You can even go forward a page, go back a page, go forward a page. It just feels great. So let's talk about the camera on this phone. So to do that, I'm just going to do a quick comparison between the P30 and the S21. So starting with the P30 here, just taking a little photo of my keyboard. Photo looks great, nice colors, very crisp. S21, again, same picture pretty much, and it looks pretty identical. Now if we look at the comparison here, I would personally say the P30 looks nicer. The colors just pop a bit more, while the S21 looks very lifelike and just boring. So next up, I compare the video quality of the two phones. The S21 looks great, you wouldn't complain, and the P30 looks very similar when filming video. The photographs look slightly different, a bit more color in the P30, as I said. When it comes to videoing, the P30 and the S21 are pretty much identical, which is quite impressive considering the P30 is almost 3 years older than the S21 and didn't cost near as much. This wasn't a very in-depth review, I'm aware of that. Sorry if that's a bit lackluster for you. But the last thing I wanted to go over here is the phone runs so smooth. Even now, 3 years of heavy use, this thing still runs like a dream. I never get any lag on any applications. Of course, PUBG Mobile sometimes gets a bit laggy, but everything else, like Twitter, Chrome, scrolling through things, it never lags, ever. I've downloaded some dodgy things on here. Well, the Samsung, it's only a year old and the thing's clogged up already. So I overall love this. The software is great. The things they've done to Android here, I love it. I love all of it. The settings, the notifications, I just love it all. It works so well. It works so well. It looks so good. Alright. And yep. So the Huawei is good. See ya.